What's up everyone, welcome to Ola Testing Shit. Today I'm trying out the Valeton GP200 X. The GP200 is a multi-effect modular, multi-effect pedal unit, solve-it-all kind of solution. It's not new in any sense. It's been available for like 2 or 3 years, I think, and there's plenty of videos of people demoing it, a lot of people praising it, and a lot of people have been requesting me doing a demo of it, especially now since last firmware update where they added the support of loading in NAM profiles or neural amp profiles. If you don't know what neural amp modeling is, it's basically a modeling system which is open source. So much like, modeling on a Kemper or, capturing on a quad cortex, for instance. I did a capture of this, for instance, that I'm going to be able to use in the GP200. Anyhow, all of that is incredibly exciting for me as a live guitar player, as you've probably seen that I'm searching for my live pedal board solution. So I went on and purchased this in order to make this demo. If you check it briefly, it's pretty straightforward. We had 8 buttons right here and then an expression pedal built in to the actual unit. You can control most of the shit on here, but I would recommend using the app that I have loaded up right here, which works very, very well, I must say. It has an effects loop in it that has MIDI in and out and the regular outputs that you would need, and also an option for an external expression pedal. In this video, I'm not going to show any built-in presets, okay? There's plenty of videos showing the built-in presets, and I did try them. I did try the built-in presets, and they're what you would expect for a multi-effect unit like this in this price range. They're fair, basically. I wouldn't say they're great, but it works, I'm going to concentrate on the fact of using this in a live essence where I'm loading in my own capture of my Chug pedal into this thing and loading in all of the effects and all that I need. And then I'm going to demo that for you instead, okay? So going straight into the first sound, I basically made a capture of the Chug pedal. This is how it sounds. Actually, I'm lying right now because there's also an overdrive engaged. This is the Chug pedal right here. That sounds pretty good, man. I'm using my own impulse response as well for this. So in the editor, how it works, you basically have a signal path right here, which you can, you just click them and engage them. And you can also move these around as you will want, which is very simple, very cool. Also, I thought this was really cool. Since the unit has an effects loop, you can decide where the effects loop send and return will be. So look at this. I can decide to have a send, for instance, before the overdrive, and then have the signal coming back after the EQ, for instance. So I thought that was pretty cool of a feature right there, and how simple it was to just organize that. Here's the Chug pedal and my dime impulse response. It's heresy to play that song in drop D, but I'm playing it like that anyways because this it's tuned to drop D. pretty okay. Here's another Chug tone with using the one impulse response. Hell yeah. Then we have a clean tone I made. This is using the GP200 amplifier. All right, and then I made a lead. Pretty simple. You have a phaser before the distortion and delay. Simplest. All right, but now you might ask, what about switching presets? Spillover. There is none. So I haven't found a feature in this thing yet to allow spillover of effects into the next preset. So that's a little bit of a turnoff. But other than that, in regards to the NAM profile I made and the impulse response, this is the tone in the audio interface, okay? This is the tone that will go into the mixing desk at a show. And I think this tone is very, very good. But I also have my amplifier and cabinet connected right here as well. So I'm gonna engage that, and you can hear how it sounds when it's going to the power amplifier without an impulse response. So basically, this thing acts as a preamp for this, just like every other rig that I'm doing. Sounds pretty good there too. All right, I'm gonna become a little bit more scientific right here and bring out my computer. So one thing I do test nowadays when I do try out new modelers like this is that I try and ping it, make it like a latency ping, basically checking how much of latency I get round trip. So going into the unit, going out, what's the round trip latency basically. So I have a project on mine, I've shown this to you before, basically where I have a click and then I have a reference right there. And the reference is basically if I send the click straight back into the audio interface, the signal path of me testing this is 0 milliseconds, okay? So if we zoom in, you can see basically here, this is going out and this is being reamped. So same signal with using one of these patch cables going back, no latency, okay? If you check here, for instance, the quad cortex has a latency of 3 milliseconds when I ping my main patch that I'm using for the Haunted, for instance. So I'm getting 3 millisecond latency right there, going in and then out. And then, actually, you can see the Dymad NAM player at 1 millisecond right here. Dude, that's insane. Anyways, if we check the Valeton, we go here. Check this out, over here. And this right here is a ping without any blocks engaged, so nothing should be processing in the unit. And it's 5 millisecond of latency is what I'm counting it to. So in that sense, it is not as fast as the quad cortex, and it's not as fast as the NAM player, for instance. And a lot of people wouldn't feel this 5 millisecond latency, but as soon as I plugged it into my rig and played it, I could feel it immediately. And you know, if you're riffing out, it's fine. It's when you play the fast stuff, the tremolo things and the fast leads, then I feel it. And it's, you know, I just cannot handle it. And for me in a live situation, you know, then also using a wireless unit, which also adds like 2 to 4 milliseconds, suddenly we're up to 9, 10 milliseconds worth of latency for the whole signal path. I'm using in-ears, so that should be as direct as possible to my in-ears so I can perform as good as I can. And a lot of people are like, oh, well, you're going to have the distance between you and the monitor and all that, and that's also latency. But since I'm using in-ears and going direct into my ears, you know, I just want to remove all the potential latency that I can. Worth mentioning, though, if you're using this as an audio interface using the USB output, you're skipping out on one of the digital to analog conversions, so you get a little bit less latency if you connect it like that. The tones, man. The tones are insane. They're really, really good with this. And the NAM capture that I did, it sounds amazing, I must say. And you know, it's lightweight. It's like, what is it, 3 kilos or something like that. It's thin as hell. You have the expression pedal right there, which is rigid, I must say. It looks great. And you have the buttons. There's good enough spacing on there. I just really like the form factor of the GP200. It also has drums. I don't care about that, but sure. Would I use this live with the Haunted? I mean, tone-wise, absolutely. Absolutely. It sounds great in that aspect. But the latency, man. I can feel it. That's the problem. It's really tough to explain because it is that initial attack when you hit the string that just doesn't feel real in that sense. It sounds real, but because of the latency, it doesn't feel real. Which fucking sucks because I love the form factor of this. I love how big it is, or like how small, the size. I just like the size. I like the inputs, I like the outputs, the colors and everything looks great. And yeah, that blows. They really got everything else figured out. And you have to understand still that this is a budget modeler. So in that sense, if you're gonna sit at home playing, this is a great product, man. This is a great product. Also, slight little detail, but the buttons on top here are slightly heightened. So they're a little bit offset. So, you know, it's a little easier to hit them without hitting the lower buttons. I really like that detail. So I will, scratching my balls a little bit. I will make my Chug NAM profile available for you to download on my website. And if you want the impulse responses, those you can buy from our website. You can buy something at least. But you know, the NAM profile is free for download. I'll put a link in the description. You can download it and use it wherever you want. You don't have to use it in a GP200. You can use it wherever. With that said, I think it's so close, man. It's so close. I like this form factor way more than the quad cortex, to be honest. And fuck. I really, really wish this would be the deal, you know. For anyone that's on a budget, I fully recommend this unit right here. It's just not for me, unfortunately. Thank you so much for tuning in, guys. If you haven't subscribed already, maybe it's time to do so. Goodbye.